What is up, guys? Welcome back to the crew 2. And well, as y'all know, it is Wednesday, which means a new summit is now live. And for this week, we have the Road to Oahu, which is obviously going to be based on Motorfest, which apparently is right around the corner. I really do feel like time is going insanely fast, but in Platinum, we have the Golden Drift tire, which I would say is kind of cool. Do keep in mind, by the way, guys, all vanity items also transfer over to Motorfest, so at least you can collect a lot of these if you guys are going after them. And then in gold, we have the Golden Wings Underglow, which I would say is going to look like, well, golden wings for that matter. But in silver, we have the gold tint. But in bronze, guys, one of the first times I think we've ever had a car in bronze. It's going to be the Mazda RX-3, which surprisingly does look pretty dang awesome. You also get to drive this car in the summit, but do keep in mind though, it is going to be base level with basically no power. And then moving over to next week's summit's going to be the Audi Attic. And in Platinum, we have the Nitro Chemist boosted for the street class, which I would probably say a lot of people are most likely going to want to have a Nitro Chemist set, especially for the street class because it's most likely one of the most used classes in the crew too. And I would probably say a lot of people might end up needing another Nitro Chemist set for this. And then it looks like in gold, we're most likely going to have a new card next week as well, the Audi RS2 Avant, which I can't wait to see that thing. Then in silver, we have the dark purple Nitro, which does actually look kind of cool. It's also going to be a silver item as well, but jumping right into this summit, guys, it's going to be a nice mix of events. It looks like for this summit, you will have to buy the Audi RS2 Avant, so obviously everybody will have to have it, which I would say is going to be a great collector, especially for Motorfest. And I would say, guys, there's going to be so many Audis in that game. It's going to be insane. But moving over to the next summit, though, the Magic City's coming back once again with the lovely Bugatti Veyron Edition 1. So this car actually came out a very long time ago. The summit also only went to 3,000 for platinum. So this car is going to be insanely rare, especially because I never see anyone use it. And this is most likely because this car is also insanely old, so most people probably do not have this vehicle to use anyway. But at least you guys have at least one more chance to grab this car before Motorfest. But in gold though, we have the legendary half set boosted for the hypercars, which I would say the Fame Magnet set with Bucks and or followers is by far one of the best sets for grinding. I still to this day actually run this set every time I do a hyper race. And to be honest guys, that's also how I made well over $80 million. I basically did tons of hyper races with that exact set. And then in silver we have the yellow speed vortex smoke, which looks very odd if I do say so myself. But moving over to the next summit, Legacy's going to have some pretty nice Bugattis on the cover. We also have the Mercedes-Benz SLS in gold, which I would say a lot of players own this thing. If you guys do own the vehicles in these and or like the vanity items, you will also get the money back for those, so it could be some extra money. And then in silver, we have a loot digger set for the touring cars, which I would say is useful. Of course, if you guys are actually missing a lot of parts for the touring vehicles, but if you honestly have the sets you are looking for, you most likely do not need this. And then in platinum, we have the legacy tire, which is insanely gold, kind of similar to the tire over here. I would probably say this one's going to be way more bright, so it might look pretty dang sick on cars. But besides all that though, guys, moving over to the summit here, starting off with the slalom. So for this one, I actually decided to run a monster truck again, which probably makes absolutely no sense. But luckily, if you do though, you can actually get around 155k, basically giving you like a maxed out score. So as long as you guys have a score breaker set, you can also run these on many of the slaloms, which does mix up the gameplay, which is most likely one of the biggest reasons why I do continue to use them. But moving over to the next skill though is going to be a buoy smashing. I also find these insanely easy to use, so I did actually use the Vector V40R, but you can honestly use like the 1414 Demon pretty easily on this one. I just love the way the Vector actually turns, so I find it a tad easier to use. And the Seattle buoy smashing is probably going to be one of the easier buoy smashes to do in the game, so you really don't have to go insane on these. But moving over to the last skill though, guys, is going to be an escape. And you can use anything like a hypercar and or like a drag race vehicle on this one. I would probably say a hypercar is most likely going to be your best option, but I actually ended up using the Chevrolet Corvette Stingray, which is probably not going to be insanely shocking because it's legit the best drag car. Not only did I use this on this escape though, guys, I also used it on this drag event as well. I would probably say it's going to be one of the best options only because of its stability. It's also going to be insanely fast in basically every way, and if you guys actually have a Nitrochemist set, you can basically hit this one and go the entire course of this track because of how fast it is, and also the track is going to be insanely short, so that does help. But moving over to the next event though is going to be the new Live Xtreme Series. It's going to be Road to Oahu, which to be honest, this is actually a pretty long event. And I'm not going to lie, guys, I basically did not do the greatest on this one. I was actually going to jump back in, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to keep the 123K and basically keep going. You will have to use a rallycross vehicle, a street car, and or a touring vehicle, and then finally a hypercar as well. So it's going to be a pretty dang fun time. You also get to test out 4 different class vehicles in like an actual event, so I did find that to be really fun. But moving over to the next event, you actually get to use the Hummer H1 Alpha US Wildlife Watchers. This truck actually came out a long time ago in the Contractors Update, and to be honest, it's really not a bad truck to use either. Like, it is insanely fast, and you can also hit around like 160 miles per hour, so it really isn't going to be a slow vehicle. And luckily, the Stage 5 is going to be a pretty simple race. And then moving down to the next event, you guys will get to use the new Mazda RX-3, but to be honest though, I do want to warn you, this car is definitely not going to be the fastest thing out there, and I would probably say manual is probably not the best option. I wouldn't say this car is going to be bad, but it is insanely slow. I do believe it's like base level around 107, so this thing is probably going to be insanely slow in basically every way, so I wouldn't expect to be hitting like around 200 miles per hour with it. It's most likely not going to get anywhere close to that, but moving over to the next event though is going to be a powerboat race, and for this one guys, I would again recommend the 1414 Demon. This is by far going to be like the best boat for basically everything. I mean, from doing escapes to like doing these powerboat races, I would most likely not pick anything else. The 1414 Demon really is going to be like the best boat in the game, at least for doing a lot of the events and or racing and stuff. But moving over to the last one though guys is going to be a street vehicle mixed into a hypercar race. It's also going to be the lovely Hollywood race. You also get to use a crazy looking Bentley as well, which to be honest, the Bacalar is really not a bad car. It does actually have some pretty decent overall performance, so who knows, maybe I will test this thing out more in the future because it did pretty dang good in this event, and I would probably say it's going to be a pretty decent overall competitor, and I really do think a lot of players are most likely looking for more street cars they can test out. But overall though guys, I do think this summit was insanely fun to do. There wasn't any annoying events in this one, but do keep in mind though the Live Xtreme series is going to be well over 6 minutes to complete. So, and if you guys have any questions at all, definitely let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more insight.
departure point for Motorfest, where anyone is welcome to join the party. If you're ready to dive into an exclusive Hawaiian racing experience, just bring your car collection here to the port, and Motorfest will take care of the rest. In fact, anyone wishing to join the festival can ship their collection of vehicles free of charge. Okay, the fest is getting underway, so jump on one of our choppers and come out to Oahu for a journey you'll never forget. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you at Motorfest.